Imagine standing in the middle of a barren, scorching desert. No buildings, no roads, no electricity, just sand and silence. Now imagine that exact same desert became the most futuristic city on Earth. This is not science fiction. This is Dubai, and this is its impossible story. Welcome back. Today, we're traveling back in time, not to ancient Rome or medieval Europe, but to one of the most jaw-dropping transformations in all of human history. A city that didn't even have a paved road in 1960. A city where men survived by diving into the sea, hunting for pearls. A city that the world had never heard of, until suddenly, the world couldn't stop talking about it. Today, we tell the full story of Dubai, from the very beginning to the breathtaking present. Buckle up, this one is unbelievable. Before we talk about skyscrapers, let's go back, way back. Over 7,000 years ago, the land that is now Dubai was actually home to nomadic herders and coastal fishermen, ancient people who had mastered surviving in one of the harshest environments on the planet. By 3000 BC, settlements formed along the coast. Archaeologists have even found Mesopotamian pottery shards buried near Dubai Creek, proof that this tiny strip of coastline was already connected to ancient trade routes, stretching all the way to modern-day Iraq. Fast forward to around 800 AD, Dubai appears for the first time in written records, in a book called the Book of Geography, described as a small but active fishing settlement. For centuries, life here revolved around two things: the sea and the desert. Men fished, they dove for pearls, they traded with passing merchants. Women kept the homes, raised children, and kept the culture alive. Life was hard, life was simple, but life had a certain dignity to it. And then, in 1833, everything changed for the first time. In 1833, approximately 800 members of the powerful Bani Yas tribe made a bold move. Led by the Al Maktoum family, they migrated to the shores of Dubai Creek, a natural inlet that cut through the land and created a perfect harbor. This was no accident. The Maktoums were smart, strategic. They saw what others didn't. Dubai Creek became the beating heart of the settlement. Wooden trading boats called dhows sailed in and out, carrying goods from India, Persia, East Africa, and beyond. The Maktoum family declared Dubai a free port, meaning no taxes on trade. This single decision would echo through history. Within years, merchants from across the Gulf, Persia, and South Asia flooded in. Dubai's population doubled, then doubled again. By the 1990s, Dubai had become one of the most important trading hubs in the entire region. The pearl industry was booming, and the Maktoum rulers were quietly building something remarkable: a reputation for openness, commerce, and stability in a region that had very little of any of those things. But this golden era didn't last. In the 1930s, disaster struck. Two things happened almost simultaneously that nearly destroyed Dubai's economy completely. First, the Great Depression swept across the world, collapsing global trade and wiping out demand for luxury goods like pearls. Second, and perhaps more devastating, Japan invented cultured pearls, artificial pearls, mass-produced, cheap. Overnight, Dubai's most valuable export became worthless. Pearl divers, men who had risked their lives diving into the deep sea for generations, suddenly had no work. Merchants closed their shops. Families struggled to eat. Dubai shrank. People left. Those who stayed had almost nothing. For nearly 2 decades, Dubai limped along, poor, overlooked, forgotten. And yet, the Al Maktoum rulers refused to give up. In 1958, a man named Sheikh Rashid bin Saeed Al Maktoum became the ruler of Dubai. He inherited a poor, struggling emirate, but Sheikh Rashid had a vision that seemed almost insane at the time. He once said, "My grandfather rode a camel. My father rode a camel. I drive a Mercedes. My son drives a Land Rover. But his son will ride a camel." What did he mean? He meant, without planning for the future, everything you build will eventually crumble back into sand. So Rashid did something extraordinary. He borrowed money, millions, from Kuwait when Dubai had almost nothing, and he used that money to dredge Dubai Creek, to make it deeper so larger ships could enter. People thought he was mad, spending money you don't have on a waterway in the middle of a desert. But within 3 years, trade through Dubai increased by 20%. By 1975, 300%. That single gamble transformed Dubai from a struggling village into a serious regional trading power. And then, in 1966, came the moment that changed everything. On May 27, 1966, oil was discovered, 15 miles offshore in a field called Fateh. Now, here's a fascinating detail most people don't know. Sheikh Rashid was so worried his people wouldn't believe the discovery because there had been so many false alarms before that he did something remarkable. He ordered oil to be loaded on a barge offshore, towed into Dubai Creek, and pumped into a sand pit on the riverbank, right in front of the entire city. He literally showed his people their oil with their own eyes. This is real. This is ours. By 1969, Dubai was exporting oil. Money began flowing in like never before. Roads were built, hospitals appeared, schools opened. The airport, once an 1,800-meter strip of compacted sand, was paved and expanded. But here's the thing that separates Dubai from every other oil-rich state in history. Sheikh Rashid knew the oil would run out. He planned for the day after oil from the very beginning. Through the 1970s and 80s, Dubai invested its oil wealth differently than almost every other Gulf state. Rather than spending it all, they built infrastructure for trade. In 1985, Dubai opened the Middle East's first free trade zone at Jebel Ali, a massive port where companies could operate with zero taxes and full foreign ownership. Fortune 500 companies flooded in. Then came the 1990s, and Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum took the vision to an entirely new level. His plan was audacious: make Dubai the most desirable city on the planet. In 1999, the Burj Al Arab opened, built on its own man-made island shaped like a billowing sail. It was instantly called the world's most luxurious hotel. The whole world turned to look at Dubai. Then came the Palm Jumeirah, an artificial island in the shape of a palm tree, visible from space. Then Dubai Internet City, Dubai Media City, the Dubai Mall, and then the crown jewel. Construction began on the Burj Khalifa in 2004. For 6 years, over 12,000 workers worked around the clock, using 330,000 cubic meters of concrete and pouring foundations 50 meters deep into the desert ground. In 2010, the Burj Khalifa opened, standing at 828 meters tall, the tallest building ever constructed in human history. Dubai had officially arrived. Here is perhaps the most remarkable fact about Dubai today. Less than 1% of Dubai's economy now comes from oil. 1%. The city that the world assumed was built entirely on oil wealth has quietly, deliberately, systematically replaced oil with everything else: tourism, technology, finance, real estate, aviation, logistics. Dubai International Airport is now one of the busiest airports on Earth, handling over 86 million passengers in a single year. The city hosts the Dubai Expo, attracting millions from every nation. It has created free zones that have attracted thousands of global companies, from Google to Amazon to every major bank on the planet. What Sheikh Rashid predicted back in 1958, that the camel would return if they didn't plan ahead, never came to pass because they planned brilliantly, relentlessly. Today, 3.5 million people call Dubai home, from over 200 different nationalities, in a city that didn't even have electricity 70 years ago. So what is the lesson of Dubai? It is not simply a story about oil or money or skyscrapers. It is a story about vision, about leaders who looked at an empty desert and saw something no one else could see, about a people who refused to let geography or poverty define their destiny. Dubai proves something profound. The future belongs to those who build it before anyone else believes it's possible. From a tiny fishing village on a hot, dusty creek to a glittering metropolis that millions dream of visiting in less than 100 years. That is not just history. That is one of the greatest human stories ever told. If this video opened your eyes to a history you never knew, drop a like, subscribe, and let us know in the comments which country's history should we uncover next. We'll see you in the next one.